Hi, everyone. Okay, so my name is Guillaume. I'm the CMO at Testimonial.to. It's actually my first time at a conference, so please be mindful of that. So Testimonial is a platform to help you collect and display testimonials. So we're going to cover multiple topics, and it's only 20 minutes, so it might feel like we're going a little bit fast, but I have it all set up so you can go back to that information later on. So we'll start with cold and warm outreach. Cold outreach. So for Testimonial, there's a lot of different niche and different clients that we're trying to tap into. So when it comes to real estate, we looked at different platforms to use. And if you're looking to find actually the email of a real estate agent that'll get into their inbox and that's not forwarding emails, the best one that I've found so far has been Keller Williams. It will give you very practical emails to use. Then as we're looking to work with different agencies, because an agency account can actually give us multiple accounts from that point on. So there's a lot of directories that you can use. For example, the HubSpot one is giving us 7,000 leads. So then there's the same thing for Zapier, for example, or Webflow. So in our case, we integrate with HubSpot. So that makes it even more reasons to talk and work with them. Same thing for Webflow, for example. So then there's AI tools. In our case, AI tools are very visuals. So they get results like this. For them to create a wall of love is something that makes a lot of sense for them. So it's something that we're trying to look for different directories and this sort of stuff. And so then when it comes to created outreach, we just covered that. So when it comes to customized outreach, we try our best to pretty much customize every message that we send out. So there's a couple of ways that we can do that. For example, we create a wall of love for different companies. So we have different tools that we can go on the G2, for example, enter the company name, and you'll give us a wall of love for them. So then we can just actually contact people with a wall of love created for them. My plan is to make a bunch for all of you here today and then DM it to you on LinkedIn or Twitter. And that's just an easy way for you to get good visuals of the potential result that you would have. So then when it comes to finding new leads, something that we do is we have a product hunt automation that contacts everybody launching on product hunt. So it's just fully automated. Every day it's contacting the first 10 people launching. It's a very easy automation that you can set up on your own. And you can do the same for a new domain pretty much registered with built with, or you could do it for funding rounds at different places receiving reviews. So when it comes to the cold outreach, we just talked about created, customized, and automated. For the warm outreach, there's a lot of very basic sequences that you should be setting up, like the onboarding flow, churn, and reactivation campaigns. But what has been working the best for us has been the credits and limits. So every time that you're running out of, for example, it's only 2 video testimonials that you can capture. So in our case, being able to sending out different limits emails, and we can even see that people are capturing additional testimonials. So that'll make them even better fit to potentially upgrade in the future. So Damon has this system where he puts every product update on Slack. So then he helps me be able to create monthly product updates in no time, just pretty much copy pasting over the information, and that's about it. So when we have a VA that pretty much goes into a spreadsheet and creates different fields for us. So then every time that we contact people, it's very customized to what's actually already on their website. So this has been very useful because this is sent to people that already signed up on the platform. So then we visit their website and try to customize the outreach that way. So now we're gonna get into my favorite section. This is a section this is stuff that I've been doing since I was very young. It's helped me work with a lot of musicians like Avicii or Grammatic. It's also gotten me a job at AppSumo through Noah, and now with Damon, just by sending cold DMs to them. So this is something that we do, for example, through Damon's account, through the Testimonial account, and my personal account. So you can use messages like this that do not include any links. This is just plain text because you want to make sure that your preview message is looking as clean as possible. So in this case, there's no links, there's just a simple intro. The little emoji has been working quite great. And you always want to avoid the fact that it's mentioning a link. So what you would do if you're sending a DM on Twitter directly, you would want to X out the thumbnail link, because then you'll actually show up like this, even if there's a link within your text. So then there's certain Chrome extensions that you can use that'll tell you the ranking of somebody on Twitter. So Hivemark would tell you that Damon is the number 15 in the Hindi hackers category. So there's a bunch of different categories that you can use, like the no-code one, and you can filter through them and find great leads that way. And then this has been my favorite thing on Twitter these days, is people putting tweets that tell you to reply with something or to comment to access something. What's great with this is this just gave us a whole bunch of leads located in San Francisco. And all those, what's great with those is if you try to DM them afterwards, there's a much higher chance of receiving a response because they're currently active on Twitter. It's, you know, if you just go through somebody's followers, they might have followed them 5 years ago, so that's not very useful. In this case, it's people that commented. You could do it the day of, you can let it run. If it's something that's gonna get a lot of traffic, you might want to give it 24 to 48 hours so it dies down and you don't miss out on too many leads. So that covers about the Twitter outreach. When it comes to LinkedIn, we have a Slack automation that pretty much gives us a recap of who's signing up on the platform. So every morning, I go through them and connect with people on LinkedIn. This is something that's actually been working really great because we schedule a lot of demos that way. When it comes to managing all of this, we do it with a tool called text.com. This is a great way to pretty much, you can sync up all your inboxes. You still need an invite at this point, but if you go on Twitter, you can find somebody that'll give you an invite pretty easily. I've not seen many people use this, which is very simple. We'll skip through it quickly, but it's just setting up very simple text shortcuts. If you're sending the same text often, it'll help you save a bunch of time. Okay, so that covers LinkedIn. So before starting to work on your blog, you obviously want to do a lot of keyword research, and that's something that we spend a lot of time doing ahead of time. You also want to look for different niche content that's, you know, very specific to your company. So this is what's helping us get Google snippets for even keywords like Notion. So if you were to Google this now, you will get this result here. So something that Damon, her founder, has been doing for a long time and is doing very well is pretty much building in public and sharing what he's doing. So he decided to stop sharing his revenue numbers publicly. So he wrote about it, and this is the kind of articles that get featured on the Hacker News and this sort of stuff. So this is the traffic that was generated at that time. Since we started to focus back on the blog, you'll be able to see this later on if you want to see those charts in more detail. So that now we'll get a little bit more into building in public. This is something that's helped Damon reach about 350,000 and above in annual recurring revenue just from building in public via Twitter, not even LinkedIn at the time. So that was all from just Twitter. But then we started to expand on other things that will go a little bit broader. So for example, he was featured on his favorite podcast, Indie Hackers, and then a few other podcasts, including the one from Nathan here from SaaS Open. And so something that's a little detailed to us that's been actually working quite well is sharing designs on Figma. So it's all free resources that you can find on your own, but it's getting a good amount of traction. People are using it for free. And what's great with that is it's covering a lot of keywords. So for example, if you go on, you look up the one over here, social proof and review widgets. If you were to look that up on Google, you'll get results for that. But you'll also find it as you look through the Figma community. So it's just helping us through different keywords and showing up for testimonial reviews and user-generated content and this sort of stuff. So then we're using everything that I just mentioned to share it on Hacker News and get some traffic that way. Or for example, the Figma designs, we share them on the Figma community on Reddit. And then we even created our own subreddit, which we're calling SaaS Alternative. What we're doing with this one is we have a lot of competitors that have a domain that's less strong than ours. So we don't want to create alternative to pages within our domain. So what we do is we're using the SaaS Alternative subreddit, and it's actually ranking on Google within about 48 hours. So then we're going to get into programmatic SEO and ads and sponsorships. So For integrations, this is, as I mentioned earlier, it's what's helping us get on a lot of Google snippets. So we're covering a lot of different topics, for example, how to turn a Slack message into testimonials, or even WhatsApp messages, little snippets that you get in Gmail. But then we get even more specific in the tutorials hub. So that's where it's collecting G2 reviews on Shopify. So this is covering pretty much 2 good keywords within one article. So then we're sponsoring different newsletters. For example, the one from Justin Welsh or the one from Eddie, very good copy. This has been great because you can also want to build a relationship with them. For example, Damon is underpaying. He's underpaying by about $500 per ad spot for just being a good relationship with them and working with them for the long term instead of just a single ad spot. So upsells and superfans. So add-ons and space quotas and all of that is something that our tool can benefit a lot from because you're collecting certain amount of testimonials, or maybe you need certain features that's limited to your plan. So Damon has it set up in a way with a tool called airplane.dev. So it helps me be able to reply to the live chat and answer and handle that upgrade for anybody or the seat quota from just pretty much entering the email and clicking the one that I want to. Obviously, since we're just a small team of 2 people and still a little bit low on the side of trying to spend a lot on marketing and stuff like that, affiliate program has been very helpful. So far, somebody is making $790 from just writing a single Medium article and having that featured on, pretty high on the results of Google. So I would definitely recommend using a tool like Rewardful, so you can set that up pretty easily. You can even then use the tool to actually get, as you're doing sponsorships, you can simply create a Rewardful link for them and be able to better track the results that way. So Damon had this, what might seem to some people to be useful little feature, which is you have a free plan, and he had the Starter Plus plan hidden within the free plan. But then we started to think about it, and I told him that I don't think enough people are actually seeing it. So what we did is we did a quick redesign and just shipped it on the site. So now you can see it on top over there. And that overnight pretty much increased the adoption by 100% from just simply redesigning the pricing page, but not actually shipping any new features or shipping any new plans. So just a simple redesign can actually have a big impact on your numbers. So then Damon likes to ship as fast as he can and just fix bugs very quickly. So in this case, he gets people to sometimes even talk about us afterwards or share it online, or people that are happy with the results and just think that we're actually a bigger team than we are. So Damon likes to remove friction. This is, there's people trying to find your tool because we're called testimonial.to. It's not a very common domain name. So he spent about $30,000 buying every other domains that he can think of. And just about last week, we finally actually turned that profitable. So, it might seem like a lot of money up front, but it's actually turned into more revenue already, and this is just a couple of months in. So if we keep on doing that and you keep seeing the revenue from that, it's actually very useful. So within Intercom, people is always searching for different keywords. So what we do is we try to include as many of them as we can. So for example, here we're including different integrations. So this way, if somebody is looking for how to turn Apple Podcasts into testimonials, they can just put Apple Podcasts and they'll see this result. So we built a few fetching tools, we call them. So this is for somebody that launched on Product Hunt. You can just enter your link and the people that built the tool, and they will give you a whole wall of love. So this is something that we do for G2 also, and for Twitter collections. You just enter the link and turn it into a wall of love. And finally, Damon, there's a lot of little features that your tool needs. For example, he finally shipped a way for you to change the email on your account. He did that some time ago, but he's doing that for every little thing that he thinks of, just to simplify and remove any friction along the way. So that was product-led growth. And so that's about it. When it comes to finding everything that I've mentioned and all the tools, you can go to testimonial.to/SaaSopen. You'll be able to find the entire presentation, and you can submit a request for us to build a wall of love for you, or you can find the fetching tools yourself. And I definitely recommend checking out some of the tools like text.com. It's been saving us a lot of time. Feather is a way to pretty much run your blog within Notion. Rewardful, as I mentioned. And if you're trying to build great videos for your tool and different screenshots, like some of the ones that you see, you can use Screen.studio or Snapper. Then Airplane Dev was the way to pretty much do a bunch of automated tasks within your system. Typefully, many of you probably are familiar with it. It's just to schedule tweets, and they just made it that you can schedule stuff on LinkedIn also. Then Missive is a great way to manage your inbox for free. And Hivemark to find different collections on Twitter and find different leads that you can work with. So that's about it for Testimonial, and thank you very much for having me on.